You know that feeling, right? You write something and it seems perfectly clear in your head, but then someone reads it and they're confused. Well, a lot of the time, the culprit is this tiny, almost invisible error that can totally derail your message. Today, we're going to hunt that little villain down and fix it for good. Okay, let's just dive right in with this one. Read this sentence. It feels a little off, doesn't it? I bet you had to read it twice to even figure out where one idea stops and the next one starts. Your brain is doing all this extra work trying to separate grandmas on a Harley from the poodles in a basket. So what is going on here? This, my friends, is a classic fused sentence. It's one of the biggest enemies of clear writing, but here's the good news. It's actually pretty easy to beat once you know its secrets. And that's what we're going to do right now, show you how to spot these things and fix them.
So let's properly meet our villain. A fused sentence, it's not just some little grammar mistake your English teacher cared about. No, it's a real obstacle to communication. It literally forces two complete separate thoughts into the same space with no divider, and that just creates confusion and makes your writing way weaker.
So here's the official definition. A fused sentence, some people call it a run-on, it's what happens when you take two complete thoughts, what we call independent clauses, and just smash them together. There's nothing in between. No period, no comma, no connecting word. It's just one idea crashing straight into the next. Now, it's really important to know that a fused sentence has a close and very sneaky cousin, the comma splice. They're both mistakes, but here's the difference. The fused sentence has zero punctuation between ideas. The comma splice tries to use a comma, but a comma all by itself just isn't strong enough for the job. Knowing which one you're dealing with is key to fixing it right. So why is this such a big deal? Well, because fused sentences create something called cognitive load for your reader. Instead of just smoothly getting your message, their brain has to hit the brakes, back up, and try to figure out where your thoughts were supposed to be separated. That extra work is exhausting, and it pulls all the attention away from what you're actually trying to say. Okay, so we know the enemy. Now it's time to put on our detective hats. The next step is all about learning how to spot a fused sentence out in the wild, in your own writing. This is a super important skill.
And the master key to spotting a fused sentence is understanding its main building block, the independent clause. Yeah, I know, independent clause, or IC, sounds kind of technical, but it's really just a fancy term for a complete thought. It's got a subject, it's got a verb, and it can totally be a sentence all on its own. Like, Grandma rides her Harley. That's one IC. Her toy poodle balances in a basket. That's another one.
So here's a super simple test you can use anytime you're proofreading. Just follow these steps. First, find the first complete thought. Got it? Okay, now find the second complete thought right after it. Now zoom in and look at that little tiny space between them. If there's nothing there, no punctuation, no connecting word, then bam, you found yourself a fused sentence. Finding the problem is half the battle, for sure. But now we get to the fun part, fixing it. And we're not just going to give you one way to fix it, we're giving you a whole toolkit. Because how you fix a sentence can completely change its rhythm and its meaning.
There are 4 main, really powerful ways to cure a fused sentence. And listen, each one is totally correct, grammatically speaking, but they all create a slightly different effect. Choosing the right one is how you go from just being a correct writer to being a really strategic and powerful one.
The simplest and honestly often the best fix is just the good old period. By sticking a period between those two complete thoughts, you create 2 separate, perfectly clear sentences. This gives you maximum separation, and it's great when the 2 ideas are distinct enough that they can each stand on their own 2 feet. All right, method 2 is all about showing the relationship between your ideas. You can connect them using a comma and a coordinating conjunction. You probably remember these guys from school, right? FANBOYS, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. This is awesome for showing things like cause and effect, or a contrast, like in the example, my mom made dinner, so I ate at home. Okay, now for a more sophisticated tool, the semicolon. A semicolon can join 2 independent clauses that are really closely related. Think of it like a super comma. It creates a stronger link than a period, but it's a softer pause. It's basically saying, hey, these 2 ideas are separate, but they absolutely belong together. Our fourth and probably most advanced method is called subordination. This is where you actually turn one of your complete thoughts into a dependent clause using a word like because, although, or since. This is so powerful because it lets you emphasize one idea over the other. See here? Getting matching tattoos becomes the main event, and the special trip is just the reason why. All right, you've got the 4 cures down. Time for a pro tip. There is a very common trap that even really good writers fall into all the time, and it has to do with a special category of words.
Meet the conjunctive adverbs. Words like however, therefore, and consequently. They seem like these big, powerful connectors, right? And writers often think they can just stick them between two sentences, just like a FANBOYS word. But they can't. They're imposters.
See, a conjunctive adverb just isn't strong enough to connect two independent clauses all by itself. It needs help. The correct formula is a semicolon before the adverb and a comma after it. Just burn that into your brain. Semicolon, adverb, comma.
Let's look at it in action. The incorrect version on the left, that's a fused sentence. That word therefore is just kind of floating there between two complete thoughts. But the correct version on the right uses that semicolon, adverb, comma structure to link the ideas properly and logically. See the difference? So let's recap our new toolkit. This isn't about just following one rule all the time. It's about choosing the right tool for the specific job you're trying to do. You can create distance with a period, show a simple relationship with a comma plus a FANBOYS, link two really tight ideas with a semicolon, or put the spotlight on your main idea using subordination. The choice is always yours. So what's the big takeaway here? Learning to fix fused sentences isn't just about getting your punctuation right. It's about learning to see the actual boundaries of your own thoughts. When you fix the structure of a sentence on the page, what you're really doing is sharpening the logical connections between your ideas in your brain. It makes you a better writer and, honestly, a clearer thinker. So the next time you sit down to write, don't just throw words on the page. Be a sentence architect. Look for those complete thoughts, check that space between them, and make a conscious, strategic choice about how you want to connect them. The power to build clear, powerful arguments is in your hands now. So, how are you going to use it?